Yes, I would in general say some good news and some less good news. If we start with the less good news, we can start with Tim. So um, it's hard to predict right now at the moment when he will be back. So I don't think he uh, is available for the game at the weekend. Let's be honest. He should have been out just for 21 days. And meanwhile, it's 29 days. He is still not capable to train with the team. So for that, I'm a bit away to give any predictions when he can return. So the injections seem to work. But if I'm honest, so I expect him just to be back after the little FA Cup break. So I don't think he will be capable to play one of the league games within the next 10 days. So I expect him just to be back then after the little break in the league after the FA Cup. If he can return earlier, and for example, if he can play, for example, the FA Cup game, that would be definitely good also to get back to his rhythm. And if he would be available for one of these 3 games before, I would take it, great. But I don't want to raise expectations anyhow. We'll have to see and to judge with him from day to day what he's capable to do. Right now, he's doing some individual stuff in the gym, also a little bit on the pitch, but not too much. So he won't be available for this game on Saturday. There's also a major doubt behind Markus Stieperman. It's a bit complicated with him because a while ago he had infection in his ear that caused some problems with his inner balance, with his balance feeling. And since he had this, he's at times struggling, that he feels unwell, that he feels a bit sick, and also struggling with some headache and some type of migraine. And then sometimes he can't fool, so he can't eat. So he's struggling. If I'm honest, he's struggling with this topic since a few weeks. Sometimes it was better, sometimes a bit worse. And during this week, it was worse again, and he was not able to eat proper, and also not able to train without getting headache and a bit migraine. And for that, we decided also to take him completely out of team training and to make sure that everything settles, and he just will start back with team training as soon as he's there without any symptoms. So it's not a major concern. It's more like a thing that is not dangerous or something for him, but it leads him to a situation that he's never there really with 100%. So he can train, he can play, but really feels a bit unwell and has to train and to play with some headache anyhow. And right now, thank God, there are also a few players back anyhow, so that we can afford anyhow to rest and sort this completely out. And for that, it's a bit difficult to predict when he's completely fine again. But one thing is for sure, we won't take any more risk because he was struggling with this topic since weeks, and I was pretty grateful and thankful that he kept going anyhow because we needed him. But right now, also a few options are back, and right now we have also a bit the time to sort this out. So definitely a major doubt if he's available. On the other hand, also some good signs. Ben Gibson is back on the training pitch. He trained with us yesterday, also trained with us this morning. So everything seems to be fine. So he should be available also for the game then at the weekend, at least as an option. The same with Lucas Rupp. He was also involved in the last game, but he was also capable to train during this week. So it's also important for him to come back. And also Xavi Quintilla is back in team training. So he trained yesterday with us, also today. It seems like he's also perhaps already an option then for the game. He was out for quite a long time, I have to say, but definitely some good signs with them. And so for that, also some good news. Yes, still not in team training, so we have a few more days, but I think it's more likely to speak about him after Boxing Day. Again, we have a few days, and it's improving. Everything's okay. He's doing individual stuff on the pitch outside, also with the ball, also with some high speed, but he was not able to join us during team training, and we will be careful with him. So could be that he joins us in the next days, but it's more likely that he can join us in team training. And also then, in order to be available for after Christmas than perhaps for the home games. If I'm honest, it was also important to calm the load for 2 days, 2 days down, and give them a little bit of rest, not just for the body, but also for the head. But since the beginning of this week, we are also back in training then, and it's also important because it's the first time since ages, at least it feels like ages, that we are there with a proper training week and also with a proper amount of players on the training pitch. And let's be honest, the days before we were just able to split the group. So sometimes a group who didn't have that much load, a smaller group able to train on the training pitch, but not so much in team tactical topics, if I'm honest, because all the other players who were on the pitch during the games had to be rested and just recovery sessions. And it was also quite important also for the players like, for example, Kieran Dowell or also Ben Gibson right now. It's important right now also to be able to train in bigger sizes of the pitch and not in just a small area when we can train 3 against 3, so something like this. So it's important right now also to get a bit the feeling for the positioning and the space back, and for that was quite a good week, and also quite helpful in order perhaps not that important for the players who weren't involved that much in the games, because even the games we speak and analyze in a tactical way, but also like to give a bit the feeling back for the players who were not that much involved in the recent games. I think for them it was also quite important, and for that definitely a good and proper week of training. We will see. It's always a bit difficult then to prepare for the next opponent, because you don't know in which ideas he brings in. It's also like for him, so he hasn't worked here in England and not that much in the role as a head coach for first team. So for that, it's also a bit difficult to analyze. Yeah, of course, we watched also our analysts watched also a few of his games the last time when he was in Georgia anyhow. So in order to get a feeling for his style of football, but then it's also up to, because the players don't change, the club doesn't change. So of course he has to work with the players who were there before, and he will try to build on it. And in general, we are respectful. Watford is a club who wants to promote back to the Premier League. Also a different situation to us. So we are labelled as one of the favourites for this league, although we were just allowed to spend 1 year on Premier League level. Watford has spent several years in a row, and also when you analyze the quality of their players and the experience, and they go more or less into each and every game with starting lineup with more than 1,000 Premier League games in the starting lineup. It says a lot about the quality of the players, and this means when a new coach comes in, I think his ideas and his handwriting, you will see this in a few weeks' time perhaps. In the first game, it's always a bit more like, okay, there's feeling of fresh air and new energy, and the players will be highly motivated in order to convince them straight away, and also to show reaction that it was not about them in the last week. So it's always difficult, because I think they will play with lots of energy and highly motivated and a bit with a feeling of relief, or a bit like with fresh energy and fresh air, and they have nothing to lose and want to prove a lot. So it will be a tricky game for us. There's no doubt about this, but we can't choose. And for that, we accept the challenge, and we accept also the task, the size of the task, and we try to be there with a good performance and also with a good result. We know that we're in a privileged role, that we're allowed to work further on and are capable to do our job. But one thing is for sure, the safety and the health of all human beings and all the people is more important. And I think it's important also to stay disciplined, and also to stick to your protocols in order to make sure that everything is all right. And when there are decisions that the game has to be postponed, or sometimes to play without any supporters or something like this, you have to accept this. Because the key people, I think it's important that we trust our key people who are responsible for the decisions. Football is unbelievably important in our everyday life, but more important is really the safety and the health of each and every human being. And I think in this moment, it's also important to accept that you have a big responsibility as a football club, because for many people, life is really difficult at the moment, and then to be allowed and able to cheer them up with this fantastic game is also quite important. For that, we also know our responsibility also to cheer everyone up and to make sure that at least football goes further on in order that we have some other topics than just speaking about this pandemic. And this is quite important, but we all have to be aware that there can be quick changes in the rules, or sometimes even that the game has to be postponed. I think no one should moon about this and also accept the situation.